Good afternoon, students. My name is Anne-Marie Steenkamp, and I will be doing the presentation for the Life Skills 3 today. I hope you are all doing well, and let's get started. So when we talk about life skills, I think it is important, the very first thing that one needs to look at is the value of life skills to learners. I think just maybe before I continue with this, is there might be a lot of information on the slides. However, please do look into your study guides. Take out the most important ones. All right. So the value of life skills to learners is that it helps to promote mental wellness and development of competence in young people. Through the development of life skills, learners will be able to translate knowledge, attitudes, and values into healthy behavior. So when we say they will be able to translate this knowledge, is when they learn about it, they will be able to integrate it into their own lives. They need to acquire the ability to reduce health risks and adopt healthy behavior that will improve their lives in general. Learners need to be able to say no to negative peer pressure and pressure to engage in a sexual relationship at an early stage. So life skill has to do with all dimensions of a person's life. They also need to know about the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse, becoming pregnant while still young, and they need to develop the skills to solve everyday problems and to handle conflict. Young people need to know how to choose their friends, characteristics of good friends, and what to do when a relationship comes to an end. Learners do not know how to study, so in life skills, one also teaches them how to study. They often discover that they do not know the difference between writing an essay and writing a paragraph. So in this way, they also focus on academic work in life skills. They do not know how to plan for their future, so in life skills classes, we teach them about different jobs, about different careers, and also how to find the perfect career for themselves and for their future. In teaching life skills, young people learn how to communicate, how to listen, and learn about tolerance. They learn how to display respect towards different cultural groups. Hopefully, developing life skills among young people will empower girls to avoid pregnancy until they reach physical and emotional maturity. That's probably one of the most important things we have today in terms of teaching life skills, is teenage pregnancies. All right, we're going to move on to how to develop a lesson plan for grade 11 learners. And please note that this is just an example. So when you are going to write the exams, you might have a different one in the exams. So for example, the outline or template looks like it does on the screen, where you have to put in your name as the teacher, the grade, the subject, the time that the lesson will continue, the theme and domain. So in other words, what will be the main theme around the lesson, and by domain, what specifically will one look at, which is many times the same as the topic. The subtopic, under social skills, there are many different types of skills. For example, interactional skills in this case. When they talk about teaching aids and resources to be used, it can be anything from papers to video clips, posters, slides, anything that you will use in the class to assist you when you are teaching. Then we come to the learning objectives for the lesson, and this you will mostly find in the life skills syllabus that is currently available. So then you basically copy it from that to suit into your subject or domain and theme. For example, this one is that learners will find a suitable objective which corresponds with the life skills syllabus. So when you talk about interactional skills or interaction skills in your syllabus, you will find the learning objectives of such a lesson. Basic competencies you will also find in the syllabus. And I hope you do have the current syllabus. If you don't you can go onto the Ministry of Education's website or NIED they have all the syllabus or syllabi available for download. So basic competencies is what learners should be able to do at the end of the lesson. And then again, 2 relevant basic competencies taken from the syllabus. So you'll see in the syllabus there are many different types of competencies mentioned there. So you need to make sure that the competencies you select relates to your theme. So it's not just randomly selecting certain competencies. Then we come to the presentation of the lesson, and in this part of the lesson plan, you will explain how you will go about giving a lesson to the learners. So you have your introduction, your presentation, and consolidation. So in the introduction, normally one would find out how much does the learners already know about the specific theme, relating to the theme that you will present. Find out what they know, find out what they don't know. This will give you a better idea of how to go about your presentation, because repeating things that they already know will just be a waste of time and the learners won't learn much. So in the second part, the presentation of subject content and learning tasks, is any suitable, clear and comprehensive description. At the end, the consolidation is to award a mark for a suitable method of consolidating the lesson content. So also to bring in some kind of assessment in this lesson plan. All right, we will move over to the benefits of the following brain exercises. Please note this is an exam-based presentation, so do focus on the things that I do discuss. So benefits of cross crawl is this exercise helps to coordinate the right and left hemisphere of the brain and is useful for learners who struggle with spelling, writing, listening, and comprehension. The cross crawl is basically the same as when you were a baby and you were crawling. Many children skip that. So this is also part of the developmental stages that children need to go through to have the brain hemisphere integrate correctly. The energizer. This exercise improves posture and concentration and keeps the back muscles toned and the spine supple. The exercise is useful for people who work at a desk many times. And we know with students, much of their times they sit down at desks. Belly breathing. This exercise helps to supply oxygen to the entire body. It increases energy and relaxes the central nervous system. Now, belly breathing is different from the way that we breathe at the moment, in the sense that we only use our bellies. So in other words, when you breathe in, you pretend there's a huge balloon in your stomach and all the air is going into the balloon. In other words, your upper body doesn't move, it's only your belly. This exercise, the brain buttons, stimulates the blood flow to the brain. It helps to re-establish directional messages from parts of the body to the brain and improves reading, writing, speaking, as well as to follow directions. In your study guide, you can read a bit further about these. All right, we're going to move over to the SMART method, which can be used by you and your learners. So SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-related. So when you set your goals, you should answer questions of who, what, where, when, and why. So that would be the specifics of the goal that you are setting. Your goals should be measurable. In order to achieve your goals, you should be able to quantify them. Attainable is that your goal should be as realistic as possible in order to get your end result. Are your goals relevant? In other words, you need to determine whether your goal is relevant to your life. Time related, it is necessary to set due dates to achieve your goals. This will keep you on track and prevent roadblocks from getting in the way. So the SMART method is a very easy way to use when you are teaching and to stick to your own goals in teaching. The advantages and disadvantages of modern communication technology. First, we'll look at the advantages. So information on almost every subject is available on the internet. Students can do research from their homes and do not need to visit libraries. Message boards are available where students can discuss ideas on any topic. The internet provides people with the ability of free emails. Products such as Skype allow the holding of video conferences with anyone in the world who also has access to Skype. Friendship and love connections have been made over the internet. Yahoo Answers and other sites can be used to assist learners with their homework. News can be read instantaneously. So this is a whole world that is immediately available for us as a result of modern communication technology. Some of the disadvantages of communication technology is that wrong information can be obtained on the internet, and this is because anyone has the ability or can or are allowed to post anything on the internet. Predators hang out on the internet waiting to get unsuspecting people in dangerous situations, and this is becoming more of a problem in our country as well, where children are being drawn or being groomed through the internet. People can get addicted to the internet and thus cause problems with their interactions with friends and loved ones. So basically people become asocial, they don't go out anymore, they are more social with their computers. Pornography can get into the hands of young children. And lastly, it's easy to waste a lot of time on the internet. Once you start surfing, you keep on going and time passes without you even realizing it. The internet and television together add to the more sedentary lifestyle of people, contributing to obesity. So sedentary basically means sitting down all the time. There's not much movement going on. So very inactive way of going through life. The internet has a lot of cheater sites. People can buy essays and pass them off as their own. Unscrupulous businesses take advantage of people. Hackers can create viruses that can get into your computer and destroy your valuable data. Hackers can also obtain your personal information, like identity theft and also electronic banking details. It can lead to a person socializing less with his or her family and friends, like I explained before. Okay, the Window of Hope program aims to support learners to become strong, healthy, and caring adults who will be able to face the challenges of their changing society, including HIV and AIDS. It reaches learners at an early age when it is assumed that the majority are not yet sexually active. In this way, sexual behavior as well as values and attitudes can still be formed. So there's a very good reason why this program is introduced at an earlier stage. It takes some time to get behavior change, and this is what the program is about, to work with the learners' behaviors, and to get that change, it takes about 2 to 3 years to have an attitude change in a person. So basically the long-term program ideally runs over 3 to 4 years and is developed for both boys and girls, and offer group activities whereby the learners are enabled to internalize the values and attitudes and realize a future for themselves. They get to practice essential skills, for instance, saying no, developing self-esteem, and a more caring attitude towards others. Includes both African, the we parts sharing our living space with other individuals, and the Western, the I part of the individual as a special and important person. So both these traditions are covered. It takes on a holistic approach, which means it does not only focus on HIV and AIDS, but looks at numerous other problems and challenges that our learners might face in our modern society today. So spiritually, creatively, emotionally, it has songs, stories, role play, and artwork encompassed in all of these activities. Okay. So here I will also not go through everything because there's a lot of information, so I'll just shortly discuss this. It's the life skills integrate with each of the phases in basic education. The following. In pre-primary, it aims to lay the foundations for education and lifelong learning. So this is the start of developing skills. Lower primary grades, which is 1 to 4, provide learners with life skills in understanding the world around them. So they become a little bit more aware of things going on around them. HIV and AIDS education starts in grade 1, since the learners are still in the window of hope age range prior to sexual relationships. From grade 5 to 7, which is the upper primary, HIV and AIDS education is intensified. Learners are better able to understand the facts, issues, and attitudes, although they are still in the window of hope age range, but must be well prepared and have the knowledge of what awaits them during their transition into puberty. Junior secondary grades is 8 to 10, and in this phase, learners are provided with the opportunity to extend their knowledge and skills, strengthen their values and attitudes, and prepare them for informed choices for future career opportunities. The last phase is the senior secondary grade, 11 to 12, and the main purpose of this phase is to prepare learners for adult life, tertiary studies, and direct entry to employment at the end of their grade 12. Career development theories of Williamson and Gottfredson. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But the trait factor approach is concerned with the total development of the individual across life stages and environments. So you will see in life skills they work very much holistically in Namibia. So this will go through from the beginning until the end. So that's why we also talk about the trait factor approach that is concerned with the total development of the individual. Its short-term goal is to help the client stop irrational, non-productive thinking and behaving and start using rational problem-solving skills for effective decision-making. Here we talk about the counselor-client relationship that can be described as teaching, mentoring, and influencing. External measures that allow the individual to gauge personal development against society are used. The long-term goal of the counseling relationship is to provide the client with decision-making skills formulated jointly by the client and society. So here everybody has an input. Counseling is a way station on the road to full development. She suggested that the development of self-concept is central to the overall career process of development process. The images of occupations for young children are based more on fantasy and magical thoughts than reality. So this is why this is an important part, that we provide a very clear and realistic picture to the learners about what the certain careers involved. As they become older, it becomes a little bit more concrete, and occupational performances become closely linked with this child's evolving self-concept. Gottfredson maintained that the career development of children is more influenced by the public aspects of self-concept. For example, gender and social class, than private aspects of their self-concept like values and interests. The private aspects of one's self-concept is likely to influence occupational preferences in the adolescent years. So this also has to do with how you perceive yourself, how you perceive your own abilities and aptitudes. And this is likely the thing that will steer you in whatever direction, career direction, you may choose. We quickly going to look at Gardner's principles relating to his multiple intelligence theories. As we know, there are different types of intelligences, and he will explain also what the different type of intelligences are. And every person is unique and has a very individual blend of these different types of intelligences. It varies in development both among and within individuals. Multiple intelligences can be identified and described. A pure intelligence is rarely seen, so you won't see somebody who has just one intelligence. They have more than one different type of intelligence. We are all intelligent in different ways, and any list of intelligences is subject to change as we learn more about them. And I think these are one of the myths that a lot of us grew up with, thinking that we've got an intelligence score and it's only based on, you know, your IQ, which focuses only on a certain number of things, excluding a lot of other intelligences, such as musical intelligence and creative intelligence and things like that. So this is a very fluid thing. It's not stuck on one number or one idea. Gardner continues to explain that happy, relaxed learners learn more readily than unhappy, stressful learners. A learner's strength is also a learning channel. Intelligence are emotionally neutral. The multiple intelligences are more neutral too. Managing learners and organizing a unique mixture of intelligence types in a classroom is a hugely challenging affair. So by that, it means that it can be difficult if you have learners in your class that has a certain type of intelligence, which means that they will learn easily through using methods that stimulate that specific intelligence. And then you have another group who learns in a different way. So to cater for all of these different learners with different intelligences might become a great challenge to the teacher. So here are the 8 intelligences of Gardner. So we have the linguistic intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, spatial intelligence, musical intelligence, logical mathematical, intrapersonal, interpersonal, and naturalistic. So these are the 8 that a teacher can be faced with in one class. Ways to prevent discipline problems in class. And this is very important. I think consistency is probably the most important part if you want to maintain good discipline in your class. In other words, you're not going to give mixed messages, or you're going to stick to the same rule. You won't change the rule every other day. So other examples is don't give empty threats. It sort of comes down to the same thing. If you tell a learner that something will happen, be sure that it will. If you tell a learner that they will lose some kind of privilege, they should lose it. It also goes to the other side, not only in terms of threats, but if you're going to make a promise, try to keep to it as well. Teach self-discipline. Experienced teachers know for certain that it takes endless patience and plenty of reteaching before a learner is self-disciplined, even only for a day. Give the learner a sense of belonging. This is extremely important. If a learner feels that they belong in a class, that they are part of the class, the chances are very good that they will absorb information much easily. Set the expectation that every learner will succeed on the very first day. In other words, use a lot of positive affirmation in your first day to make learners feel that they can succeed, and also try to live up to that expectation of succeeding. That was the last slide. Should you need any information or more explanations, please feel free to contact me on sanmariesteenkamp@gmail.com. I do prefer if you email, because sometimes I'm not available on my phone. But you're more than welcome to phone me as well on 081 2222 133. Should I not answer, please do leave a message or an SMS for me.